morning, students. Today we are going to read a new chapter, The Best Christmas Present in the World by MORPURGO. Dear children, tell me one thing. Do you like to receive presents, gifts? Yes, of course. I don't think there is anybody in this world who would not like to receive presents. But sometimes the presents may not be a material gift, may not be an object. Sometimes present may be emotions, happiness. The story, The Best Christmas Present in the World, is in the backdrop of war between Britain and Germany in 1914 during the First World War. Now, do you know who was MORPURGO? MORPURGO, or we can say Michel MORPURGO, is one of Britain's best loved writers for children, and he has won many prizes, including the Smarties Prize, the Writers Guild Award, and the Blue Peter Book Award. In The Best Christmas Present in the World, the author Michael MORPURGO revisits the trenches to tell the haunting story of Christmas 1914, when soldiers on both sides put down their weapons in honor of Christmas Day. This is the story that also moved Carol Ann Duffy to write The Christmas Truce and Hilary Robinson to write The Christmas Truce, the place where peace was found. About what the story is. Echoes of Christmas 1914 in the trenches call to present day, when a letter found by chance in an antique disc brings one soldier's experience hauntingly to life. It is the story based on the First World War. It highlights the peaceful celebration of Christmas between enemy armies. It also describes affection of a wife towards her husband who is out for a war. Important dates. There are some dates or periods of time in the history of the world that are so significant that everyone knows and remembers them. 4th July, American Declaration of Independence. 17 December 1903. Wilbur and Orville made the first flight remaining in the air for 12 seconds and covering 120 feet. 6 August 1945, Hiroshima Day. An atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima on this day. 30th January 1948, death of Mahatma Gandhi. 12 April 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit the Earth. 20th July 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first human to set foot on the moon. Now, who are the main characters of this story? Jim McPherson, an army man. He is one of the Tommies and is the leader of his troop. He is an open-hearted, brave and courageous man. He lives in 12 Copper Beeches, Bridport, Dorset. He was a teacher in Dorset before the war. He is a martyr in the First World War. Connie, or Mrs. Jim McPherson. She is the wife of Jim McPherson. An accident burned her partially. She is alive only in the belief that she will be able to see her husband once again. Hans Wolf, he was a German fridge in the First World War. He is their captain. He worked in an orchestra in Dusseldorf before the war. Now Tommy is the nickname for the British soldier and Fridge is the nickname for the German soldier. Now, what is the outline of the story? The narrator went to a junk shop in Bridport looking for a roll top desk. The young sailor informed him that the desk he picked up was made of oak. The narrator found it cheaper than the others he had seen. So the author, although the desk was not in proper shape, yet he bought it and started working on it. He took out the damaged cover. He observed that a lot of damage is there due to water and fire. He opened the doors easily, but for the last one he had to apply force. He took out a tin box with a note on it with instructions to bury the letter with her. Out of curiosity, he read the letter that mentioned the address of Lady Macpherson. It was written in pencil. He read the letter. Now, what is written in the letter? In the letter, her husband explains how he was fighting against a German army as a British soldier. Here he happily describes an incident in the war front on a Christmas morning, how the things had taken turn. Instead of fighting, what actually happened. They were standing in their trenches. Suddenly he observed a white flag waving from the side of the German soldiers. At first they thought it to be a trick. Then they saw that about 12 soldiers started coming towards them in no man's land. No man's land is an area which does not fall in any of the two countries. They called out, "Happy Christmas!" loudly. Soldiers from his side also wished them back cheerfully, and they also went to the no man's land. However, that air of confusion was offering them to share snaps and sausage. He was rather happy that they were celebrating happiness with his enemy soldiers. He further added that he liked the way the German officer came towards him and introduced him. They had shared happy moments. They chatted for long and became friends. Then, at someone's suggestion, they played a football match also. In short, in the middle of war, they enjoyed a lot as they were making peace. They don't know how the time passed. Now they have to depart. Soldiers of both the sides bid goodbye to each other and wished each other well and hoped that they could meet their family soon. That day, none could sleep throughout the night. It was a memorable day. In the last part of the letter, Jim had promised Connie that next Christmas Eve he will definitely at home and celebrate the Christmas together. And this promise gave Connie a hope to be with her husband once again. Now, after reading the letter, the narrator decided to meet Connie and give her back her letter. But on reaching there, he came to know that her home was burned. So, she was shifted to a nursing home where she is being treated. So, the narrator decided to go to the nursing home to meet her, and he went there. When he entered, he saw that the entire hallway was decorated and a lighted Christmas tree was kept in a corner. Everything was finely decorated for the Christmas, but Connie was not there. A nurse took him to her, but she was not fine that day. She was confused. It seemed as if she still was waiting for her husband to come. When the narrator wished her Christmas and kept the letter on her lap, she was confused. She was so confused that she mistook the narrator to be her husband. She told him that she is so happy as Jim is there and he has kept his promise. There was a glow of happiness in her face on seeing her husband. She asked Jim to read the letter as she wanted to hear his voice. The narrator was so moved that he could not utter the truth that he is not her Jim. He felt the love inside her. She told him that he is the best Christmas gift for her. So, this is a very touching story. So, the title is appropriate. It is correct and justifiable because the best present one can give to anyone in the world is happiness, love, good thoughts, good deeds. So, the best Christmas gift for Connie was the happiness that she got when he mistook the narrator as her husband. She thought that her husband comes back and thus he has kept his promise. So, what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that war always leads to death and destruction. And the world today must resolve to peaceful coexistence. And the most important, the best present one can give to anyone in this world is happiness. That's all.